All right. Looks like we are live. Welcome, everyone. If you're joining us from Facebook, Twitter, we are glad to be here. My name is Maria. I'm the executive director of the Gatehouse, and I have my very good pal here. Go ahead, Stuart.
Hello, Maria. Nice to be here. And wow, we are going to be talking about some really exciting stuff. And I'm going to pass it back to you because I know you want to do something that's really important. And then we are going to talk about some really, really good stuff because there's so much going on, so much to share. And this year, we're going to be the Gatehouse has got so much ram-packed stuff full of information to help survivors, health practitioners. We've got a lot of stuff really, really good to help you help yourself. So I'm going to pass this back to Maria because Maria has something really important to say before we get started here.
Wonderful, Stuart. Thank you so much. And we are going to start off today with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land that we're meeting on today is on the traditional territory of the many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse nations, Inuit and Métis peoples. We acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Thanks so much, Stuart. And thank you, everyone. If you're joining us on social media, feel free to post any questions or comments to anything that we're talking about today. We are going to be talking about the Transforming Trauma Conference that is taking place all next week from Monday to Thursday. So May 16th to the 19th. It is a completely free event, and you do need to register. You do need to have a Zoom account to be able to join us. We are using a new platform called Zoom Events, and we're hoping everything goes really well. It will. We have a lot of workshops throughout the week. I believe there's 16 webinars being delivered live by various presenters. And Stuart's going to get us started with talking about the first 4 presentations that we have going on Monday.
Thank you, Maria. And yes, folks, don't be shy with the questions. Yes, so starting off Monday, May 16th, and like we've said, this is our 12th annual Transforming Trauma Conference. So right at 10 a.m., we'll be bringing survivors knowledge of policy and practice. So basically, we have 2 survivors coming that are partaking in this from Germany. And the presentation by Wiebke Müller, and she's a member of the Survivor Council of Germany, which we will elaborate a lot more on because we have some exciting news to along with this. And her counterpart, Matthias Kosch, is a member of the German Inquiry into Childhood Sexual Abuse. So within saying that, I'm not going to focus on this too long, but they have organized and put together a Survivor Council in Germany, which we will be talking a lot more about later on. And at 11:30, we have another great special guest, and it's actually part of our initiative, which we're going to be talking about. We have Patrick Stanford on his film Groomed. Obviously, this is about CSA survivors. I won't say too much about it other than you got to tune in, or rather you got to come in and watch, and Patrick will talk about it. At 1 p.m., Triumph Over Trauma. It's a 1-hour panel discussion of male survivors from Voice of Men 360. Hosted by Joe Groh, and again, pronounce me if I pronounce his last name incorrectly, but also including guest survivors, Brian Morrison, founder of Males, Adult Survivors of Childhood Sexual Abuse, and also Jay Rothman of Transformational Coach, Hike and Heal Experiences for Real Men, the Talk Live Show anyway, he's the executive of that show, which is on 360. And again, lots of good stuff here that he's going to be talking about. And obviously, we'll be focusing more on men on this particular topic, just so you know in advance. But for ladies, if you are listening, and whether you're supporting a survivor in a relationship, would be a good place to listen, as you may get some good tips in regarding supporting your partner. And the last event of Monday at 2:30 p.m., we'll be talking about compassion fatigue. Now, being a peer facilitator and anybody in the supporting role in the health community, this will be very, very helpful for you. So we have a 1-hour presentation with William Sparks, and he heads the awareness of secondary trauma stress and self-care planning and recovery for resiliency of staff, volunteers, and peer support workers of childhood sexual abuse survivors. Now I'm going to pass this back to Maria to talk about Tuesday. Thank you.
Thanks, Stuart. Yeah, we have a lot going on for the conference this year, 4 more webinars than last year. We have a lot of community partners and organizations. I really appreciate, Stuart, that you talked about like the international scope of the conference this year, having persons from Germany and the UK join us and talk about their experiences as survivors and as advocates and as leaders in the field, trying to establish their own survivor councils over in their countries, and also bringing awareness through the use of media and film. We're going to be talking about on Tuesday poetic presentation. So we're using the poetry to heal from childhood trauma. I have a lovely presentation by the student team at OCAD University. So we have students Drusilla, Riley, Lauren, and Menhas presenting, and they will be facilitating healing through poetry. They'll have some prompts. It'll be an active webinar, so not information only. It is active participation in that webinar. At 11:30, we're going to have Matthew Mcvarish, Arthur Lockhart, and Stuart talking about the efforts of Matthew over in Scotland, all that he's been doing to establish also awareness about the impact on survivors of childhood sexual abuse. 1 p.m., we have therapeutic approaches to supporting survivors, and that's a panel by Rob Hawkins and Sherry Jackson. Rob is a registered psychotherapist. He is a long-time advocate and representative of male survivors in the field. He's worked with so many organizations, bringing awareness to male-specific issues and vulnerabilities surviving childhood sexual abuse. He is phenomenal, and he's done so much work in the field. Sherry, equally as phenomenal, a certified addictions counselor, peer facilitator. She shared last year at our conference a lot of different strategies that help survivors heal and cope with some of the distressing symptoms that we experience post-trauma. We have 2 persons from Renaissance Treatment Center. So an addictions treatment center, active inpatient, outpatient treatment center here in Toronto. We have Erin Gilmore and Alessandro Mota, and they're going to be talking about Renaissance and all the services that they offer there and how people can get involved and really healing from addictions in a holistic fashion as well. 4 p.m., we have Creating Safety for Marginalized Survivors, focusing on the experiences of childhood sexual abuse and anti-Black racism on Black survivors' identity and needs for support. And this is going to be delivered by Kelsey LaRue. She's the Child and Youth or Program Coordinator, I should say, at Black Women in Motion. She has a degree in Child, Youth Care and Community Development. And we're really appreciative to have Kelsey LaRue back this year to share her wisdom and information with us. And that in itself will be a presentation and active discussion. A lot of these workshops will have some active participation and opportunities for people to ask questions, connect with one another. Again, we're using Zoom events, so you can actually join in the lobby and chat with other participants and other panelists throughout the event. We're quite excited to introduce this new platform and see how it goes. I'm going to pass it back to Stuart, who's going to talk about Wednesday.
Thank you, Maria. So Wednesday, May the 18th, starting off in the morning at 10 a.m., understanding trauma from a nervous system lens. So our presenter will be Avdeep Bahra, and she'll be talking somatic experiences, practicing in training. So that's where she's at anyway. And she'll be talking about how unresolved trauma can result in physical, mental health conditions. And what I like about this presentation is that a lot of times with CSA survivors is that we have trauma that's hidden in our body, and we don't really quite know what to do with it or even understand what's happening. So Avdeep, and I've met Avdeep before. Actually, I haven't talked to her actually since the beginning of the pandemic. So I'm really looking forward to her presentation. And then moving on from there, at 11:30, we were going to be going into some mindfulness meditation. And it's a 30-minute workshop, and it's by Andrea Robin Skinner, and she is amazing. I would suggest you tune in if you want to tune in and then detune, because I imagine she will be doing some sort of meditation in that time, and they'll help you throughout the rest of the day. So again, I would suggest you tune in at 11:30 for a little bit of mindfulness meditation. And at 1 p.m., inner child healing. It's a 1-hour presentation by Lucie Brunet, and she is from the Voice Found program manager out of Ottawa, and also Bob Gassardian, a peer supporter. And this presentation will be partially delivered in French. Now, in the last 2 years, whenever Lucy has presented, she's done part of it in English and part of it in French. So just so you know in advance, which I would encourage you to tune in, because you're going to hear some good insights. It's been a long haul the last 2 years in regards to not just what we've been doing with the pandemic, but with people in healing and trying to heal. So there'll be some really good information there. At 2:30, we're providing support for the affected eating disorders. I was talking about this 2 years ago myself, suffering from an eating disorder. Thank God I'm almost over that plateau now, and I'm back to almost where I was, but it was a real struggle. So it will be by Caitlin Axelrod, Manager of Community Outreach and Education. Is this with
Sheena's Place? Yeah,
Sheena's Place. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Sheena's Place in Toronto. So if you Google Sheena's Place in Toronto and you're suffering from an eating disorder, and I believe they are all across Canada, but don't quote me on that, but I know they are definitely here in Ontario. And like us, they've been having to do most of their programs online. Now, for the last part of the day, we have Healing Through Poetry. And this will be really, really a good spot for people to come in, because there'll be some announcements there as well. I won't get into much of that, but I would encourage you to tune in. The Poetry Workshop by Carrie George, a program coordinator with WIC Poetry Center, Kent State University. So this is going to lead up to some other exciting things, which we'll be talking about through the week. Now I'm going to pass it back to Maria for Thursday and our final day.
Thanks, Stuart. Now, I wanted to add to the last, what you just mentioned about Carrie last year when she did the workshop on poetry. Her prompts were so transformational. People were sharing their story in the chat, connecting with one another and exploring some thoughts and feelings that they've held on to for many, many years and had never before shared publicly with anyone. So poetry can be a really great form of healing, to start your healing journey, to complement your healing journey, as is yoga, as is meditation, as is coaching, as is therapy, as is peer support. So we're coming at it from all those levels of healing. And I'm just going to pull up the Thursday schedule, which is our final day this year. We have a wonderful presentation by Carolyn Smith, and it's called Live Life Well, Thriving with Trauma-Informed Coaching and Couples Coaching. And Carolyn's going to be talking about the impact of trauma and healing from that, and what brilliant life can you build together with you, your partner, and she referred to it with your rising with your superpowers, which I really, really love, and who are your circle of influence. So tapping into your resources and healing from childhood trauma from all levels, whether it's social, community, individual, professional, spiritual levels of healing. And I'm really looking forward to that. And then finally, we have Nicola Yoga, who is going to be leading us through a 20-minute decompressing yoga practice, as she has done over the past 3 years. And we're super appreciative to Nicola for doing that again this year with us. Every time we do these workshops, we try and integrate different forms of healing to bring awareness to that it's not one size fits all, not one solution fits all when it comes to healing. And hence why we have partnered with all these different agencies to collaborate and bring everyone together so that we can share with you and anyone that's watching this post live broadcast that healing is possible and that you are not alone. And I wanted to just invite Stuart to share any final thoughts and check our social media if there's any comments or questions for us before we end the broadcast today.
So I'm going to bring back to, I'm kind of being a little bit of a tease here, and pardon the way I put that, because really what I am. We have some really special announcements coming up, and we have a really, really big initiative that that some people are doing that will be supporting any CSA survivors, well, not just here in Canada, but internationally. But we have something really big happening, and I'm really, really excited to talk about it. And some of the other presenters in this week we have are part of this as well. And in each of these presentations, you will find out little bits and pieces about it and exactly where we stand as well as part of the Gatehouse and as survivors and advocates ourselves, where this is going to go, how this will help you in the future. It's not just about me and Maria; it's about everybody and everybody in the community. Not just here in Canada, but internationally. But what we're going to be doing here in Canada is really something really, really special. And one of the biggest things that I've discovered for all the years I've been doing this, I've been doing this a long time now, is that the thing that really bugs me to no end is that we don't work together. We need to come together and work together not just as one organization like the Gatehouse, but all organizations together. And, everybody's fighting for the same cause, but results are really hard to come by. And anyway, I'm going, myself and some others, we will be addressing this to a much greater capacity. You have no idea. And so I really would encourage you, whenever possible, to tune in this week and to be part of these presentations. And you will find out more about what we are going to do. And again, it's not just about me and Maria or me. It's about everybody that's involved and how hard, I look at people who have been working at this for years and years and have worked so hard for change, like real change. And you know what? It's like you're stuck in the mud, right? Nothing's changing. Nothing's, I hear lots of talk, but no action, right? So we're going to bring up some really, really big things that are important as far as the CSA community is concerned. And it's not just about, our experience. It's about moving forward and what we could do for our children in the future and for real change. I think I'll leave it at that. I won't say any more. I would rather you tune in and hear it, not just from me, but from the other guests in regards to what I'm talking about. And you'll find that as a CSA survivor, you'll find this to be quite beneficial for you and every aspect of what you've been through moving forward in the future in regards to not just in your healing, justice, healthcare, all those things we'll be addressing. So I think I'll just leave it at that. And I'll pass it back to Maria, and maybe she might want to add on a couple more things, and not just about what I'm saying about, but in regards to the other guests.
Thanks, Stuart. I just wanted to add that you can register still. There's lots of tickets still available. It is a free event, and the link is on the screen. If you go to thegatehouse.org/conference-22, that's a mouthful. You go there and you can register for the event, take part. You can meet other people online. It is a fully workable lobby in how Zoom events works. You'll be able to chat with presenters, ask questions, interact with one another. And join as many or as little workshops as you want. So it's really up to you, and it's totally free. Feel free to share this broadcast or the link or any information about the Gatehouse on your network, because you just never know who might need to read or see the post that there is support available for people. Again, thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Stuart, for being here with me today. And we look forward to seeing you next week at the conference.
Thank you, everybody. See you next week.